Your kids scrape their knee. Standard Wednesday content. They run to you, tears ready, and you glance at the clock because you're late for a meeting. You say, "You're okay, it's just a little scratch," while already turning back to your laptop. That phrase just taught them something you didn't mean to teach. Their pain has a threshold. Your availability has conditions. Big feelings need appointments. Stanford's Center on Early Childhood Research confirms that repeated emotional dismissal creates what they call affect suppression in kids as young as 3. Translation: your toddler is already learning to stuff it down. This video breaks down 8 specific ways parents accidentally teach kids that their feelings are scheduling conflicts, what kids actually internalize from these moments, and how to stop turning emotional bids into inconveniences before your kid stops making bids altogether. 1. The efficiency redirect. Your 7-year-old is upset about something that happened at recess. You're unloading groceries, mentally calculating if you can get dinner started before the next Zoom call, and they're explaining some injustice involving a swing and a kid named Brendan. You say, "Why don't you go watch TV for a bit and calm down? Then we can talk about it." Sounds reasonable. You're not dismissing them, you're just triaging. Except your kid doesn't hear "later." They hear, "Your feelings are interrupting my schedule." Research from Yale's Center for Emotional Intelligence found that parental availability during emotional moments matters more than the duration of the conversation. Your kid needed 30 seconds of your full attention, not 30 minutes of distracted multitasking. Instead, they learned that big feelings should be processed alone, preferably out of sight, ideally on a screen. What you're building: a teenager who locks their bedroom door when they're upset and tells you nothing. The fix is stupid simple. Stop what you're doing for 60 seconds. Groceries can sit. Look at them and say, "That sounds really unfair. Tell me what Brendan did." That's it. Connection first, efficiency second. Because emotional dismissal is the express lane to raising an adult who thinks their feelings are a burden. 2. The comparison minimization. Your kid is devastated because they weren't invited to a birthday party. You say, "Well, you went to 3 parties last month, so it's not like you never get invited to anything." Parent brain translation. Perspective and gratitude. Kid brain translation. My feelings don't count if someone else has it worse. And also, I should feel guilty for being sad when I have parties to compare it to. This is the Pain Olympics approach to parenting, where suffering needs to meet a certain threshold to qualify for empathy. Columbia University's research on emotional validation in childhood shows that comparative minimization teaches kids to distrust their own emotional responses. They start measuring their pain against an invisible scale, where nothing they feel ever seems big enough to matter. The long game consequence? Adults who apologize for crying, who say, "I shouldn't complain," before sharing anything hard, who stay in bad relationships because other people have it worse. Quick favor from Sticko before we move on. If this is hitting home, could you take 1 second to tap that subscribe button? Believe it or not, over 97% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. Back to the party situation. Try this instead. That really hurts. Not being included feels terrible. No comparison. No silver lining. Just validation. Their pain doesn't need to win a competition to deserve your attention. 3. The emotional audit. Kid comes home from school, visibly off. You ask what's wrong? They say nothing. You push. Something's clearly wrong. What happened? They insist it's nothing. You keep pushing because you're a good parent who cares. Except now, it's an interrogation. Your kid is doing emotional math in real time, calculating whether their feeling is big enough to justify your concern, whether they can explain it adequately, whether the explanation will lead to a lecture. Harvard's Making Caring Common project found that kids stop sharing when sharing feels like a performance review. They're not hiding things because they don't trust you. They're hiding things because emotional honesty has become labor. You're asking them to produce, explain, and defend their feelings like it's a court case. What they learn. Feelings require documentation, evidence, and a compelling narrative. The alternative is so much easier, it feels wrong. When they say nothing's wrong, you say, "Okay, I'm here if that changes." Then you sit nearby doing something low-key. No interrogation, no emotional audit. You're just available. like furniture that cares. Northwestern research on adolescent disclosure shows that kids share more in low-pressure environments, where feelings can emerge naturally, rather than being extracted. Be the coffee shop, not the police station. 4. The manufactured urgency. Your kid is anxious about a test. You say, well, if you're so worried, why didn't you study more? You had all weekend. Technically true, also completely unhelpful. You're teaching them that anxiety is a personal failing that could be solved with better planning, which means every future anxiety comes with a side of shame. MIT's research on childhood anxiety patterns shows that when parents respond to emotional distress with logistical criticism, kids learn to hide both the emotion and the situation causing it. Your teenager won't tell you they're stressed about college applications because they know you'll ask why they didn't start earlier. The anxiety doesn't go away. It just goes underground, where it ferments into panic attacks in bathroom stalls and stress eating at midnight. You're accidentally building a human who thinks feeling bad means they did something wrong. What your kid needed in the test moment. Tests are stressful. What would help you feel more prepared? Not blame, not a time management lecture. Just acknowledgement that the feeling is real and solvable. This teaches them that emotions are information, not indictments, and that you're a resource instead of a referee keeping score of their mistakes. 5. The fix-it interruption. Kid is crying about a friend's situation. You immediately jump into solution mode. Have you tried talking to them? Maybe you could invite them over. What if you gave them some space? You're a problem-solving machine, which is great for flat tires and failed science experiments. For feelings, you just taught them that emotions are problems requiring immediate solutions, rather than experiences that need space. Cambridge research on emotional processing in children found that kids whose parents rush to fix emotional distress develop lower emotional tolerance and higher anxiety. They never learn to sit with uncomfortable feelings because you never let them. Every sad moment becomes a crisis demanding intervention. The long-term build. An adult who can't handle discomfort, who needs constant reassurance, who treats every feeling like an emergency requiring external resolution. Your kid wasn't asking you to fix the friend situation. They were asking you to witness their sadness, to confirm that sadness makes sense, to let them feel it without making it a project. Try this. That sounds really hard. I'm sorry you're going through this. Then shut up. Silence feels excruciating, but it's where processing happens. If they want solutions, they'll ask. Most of the time, they just want confirmation that their emotional reality is real and you're not scared of it. 6. The mood policing. Your kid wakes up grumpy. You say, lose the attitude, or we don't do grumpy in this house, or the classic, you need to adjust your tone. You're enforcing emotional regulations, like feelings are a dress code violation. What you're actually teaching. Certain emotions are unacceptable, emotional authenticity is conditional, and your love comes with a mood requirement. Psychology Today research on emotional suppression shows that kids who are punished for negative emotions don't stop having those emotions. They just stop showing them to you. The grumpy doesn't disappear. It relocates to their bedroom, their group chat, their future therapist's office. You're building a teenager who performs happiness at the dinner table while screaming into their pillow at night. The absurd part? You're allowed to be grumpy. Adults have whole moods. We're tired, we're stressed, we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and everyone just accepts it. But kids? Their grumpy is insubordination. The better move? You seem frustrated this morning. Rough start? Acknowledge the mood without requiring them to change it. Some mornings are just bad. Let them be human. Emotional acceptance doesn't mean accepting disrespect, but it does mean accepting that your kid is allowed to have feelings you don't love without those feelings being a personal attack on your parents. 7. The crying countdown. Your kid is crying. You're trying to be patient. But it's been 5 minutes and you say, okay, that's enough now. You need to calm down. You just put a timer on grief. Feelings now have a maximum acceptable duration, after which they become excessive and need to be turned off like a faucet. What your kid learns. Emotional expression has a time limit. Big feelings are inconvenient, and if they can't regulate on your schedule, something is wrong with them. Journal of Child Psychology research found that parents who impose time limits on emotional expression raise children with poor emotional regulation skills, because those kids never learn to naturally process feelings to completion. They learn to stuff them down on command, which is not the same as actual regulation. This creates adults who have explosive emotional breakdowns because they've been cutting feelings off mid-process their entire lives. Emotions don't have a timer. Crying ends when it ends. Your discomfort with their discomfort is not their responsibility to manage. The fix requires you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Sit with them. Rub their back. Say nothing. Let the crying run its course. It will end faster than if you try to stop it, because emotions that are allowed to exist tend to resolve themselves. Emotions that are suppressed just wait for the next available exit. 8. The conditional comfort. Your kid is upset and you say, "Come here, give me a hug." But your body language is stiff, you're checking your phone, or you pat their back while visibly waiting for it to be over. You're offering physical comfort while emotionally checking out. Kids are fluent in body language. They know when you're present and when you're performing presence. What they learn. Comfort is transactional. Affection has an expiration date. And emotional needs are something to get through rather than something to meet. Stanford research on parental attunement shows that mismatched emotional availability creates anxious attachment patterns, where kids constantly monitor whether they're too much, whether their needs are a burden, whether they should have feelings at all. This builds adults who apologize for needing support, who downplay their pain to make it easier for others, who have entire breakdowns alone because asking for help feels like an imposition. When your kid needs comfort, be there, fully. Phone down, laptop closed, eye contact, real presence. If you genuinely can't in that moment, say so. I want to be fully here for you. Give me 2 minutes to finish this, and I'm all yours. Then actually be all theirs. Conditional comfort is worse than no comfort because it teaches them that even when they're hurting, they're still fundamentally alone. 9. The renovation project. You didn't mean to teach any of this. Every single one of these patterns comes from love mixed with exhaustion, from wanting to help but not knowing how, from your own childhood where feelings were even less welcome than they are now. You're doing better than your parents did, which is the bar we're all trying to clear. But your kid doesn't need perfect. They need present. They need you to stop treating their feelings like scheduling conflicts and start treating them like information about a human you care about. The research is clear across every institution. Emotional validation in childhood predicts better mental health, stronger relationships, and higher emotional intelligence in adulthood. The inverse is also true. Kids who learn their feelings are inconvenient become adults who think they are inconvenient, who shrink themselves, who carry shame about having needs. You can change this today, not by being a different person, but by making different choices in the moment. When your kid has a feeling, stop. Listen. Validate. That's it. 3 steps that take 60 seconds and build a human who knows their emotional reality matters. Your kid's feelings aren't interruptions. They're invitations to connection. The only question is whether you're going to RSVP.